and grind. Folks, guys, I am on the way to a brand new customer. This is a no heat call. She just said that he stopped working yesterday. Guys, I am almost there now. Let's go take a look. I'll see y'all when I get this. Thermostat is blank. Bad news is I'm parked all the way down the street, so. This is one of the side streets in Philly. They never take care of the roads here when it snows. But this is like the third call I had this week in which I get here and the thermostat is blank. Now this is, of course, a digital thermostat, but there's no C-wire hooked up. So I think this is a 4-wire setup on this here. But guys, tell you what, let me get the batteries from the truck. And I'll be right back, guys. Let's start our journey back inside the house. Make sure I got my keys. And I do. All right, guys. I'll see y'all when I get back inside. All right, guys. This customer has an air handler. My thermostat is on the wall. And presumably, if we have an air handler down here, we have a heat pump outside. But guys, let me take a look at that filter. What's the temperature here? It's going up. All right. Let me flick this filter out of the unit. I'll be right back. Let me look at this. All right. I just spoke with the customer real quick, and maintenance is not something that they thought they needed. She didn't know about the batteries and the thermostat. Guys, they have 5-wire down here going to the thermostat, but the common isn't hooked up. But look at that filter. Holy crap. Alright, guys. Definitely going to recommend maintenance here. Actually, let me see if my line set is hot. Alright. Okay. But that thermostat didn't have an electric heat mode on here, so like, now guys, I didn't go outside yet. I just replaced the batteries and I put the thermostat on the wall, but it's not unusual to have, like in condos, I've seen this before in Philly, in some condos you'll have an electric heat only setup with a straight AC condenser, but that thermostat isn't set up for 2-stage. So I don't know if I even have a heat pump outside. I'm not even sure how it's turning on. Hey guys, if you stick around this long enough, you'll see something new every day. But I know that filter is going to have to get replaced. But guys, I'm going to give this a few minutes of runtime. I'm going to see what our supply temp gets up to. I'll be right back. All right, guys, that's a one-stage thermostat. There's no electric heat on it. Let's go outside here. And the customer said that the AC never worked. Yeah, this is a heat pump. Accumulator. Yep. $17.12. This is a newer Goodman heat pump. I thought my suction line was warm because that suction line was ice cold. I just had to move some insulation back, but this heat pump is in fact not turning on. And guys, my supply is only 80 degrees coming out the vent. Tell you what, I gotta show the customer. I don't think they know what they got back here. I'm gonna show the customer this. I gotta open up this door and see what's going on. Guys, from experience with something like this, I think there's a good chance that this unit is flat on refrigerant. But regardless of this heat pump working or not, the fact that I'm only getting 80 degrees out the vents, that thermostat, she said that someone put that thermostat in this past summer. That thermostat is not a two-stage thermostat. So I'm getting 80 degrees, presumably from the electric heat. But before I even diagnose this, I'm not even sure if the thermostat is turning this electric heat on. So I don't think I'm gonna need tools out here, guys, because I'm gonna give you guys some gems here. If the thermostat is not calling, or if you suspect that the thermostat wires aren't properly hooked up for a condenser or a heat pump, do not start with the heat pump or a condenser. First, verify that the wiring is correct at the inside unit and the thermostat. And lastly, you come out here, because if something's wrong inside, this unit is not gonna work outside at all. So even with 240 volts. Guys, I gotta get a picture of the model and serial number here. I gotta go back to this thermostat. I'll be back. All right, guys. The saga gets more crazy. This customer said that this past summer, well, actually last winter, almost a year ago, she said that the heat stopped working, right? And she had another company come out. The other company told her that the issue was with the condenser coil outside on the heat pump, and he told her that she had to replace the thermostat. Now at this point, guys, she only had this issue from last year. At this point, it was a two-stage thermostat, two heat, one for heat pump, one for electric heat. I gotta assume it was already hooked up correctly before the last company came out. What the guy did was he put in a one-stage thermostat, and guys, right now the thermostat is rigged up to only run the electric heat. The old terminal is not even hooked up. What I told the customer is that we can replace the thermostat, and I believe I did see an orange wire when I took the thermostat off the wall, so we do have enough wires in the wall, but we're going to have to replace the thermostat. And once we reconnect the old terminal, we can diagnose the heat pump, because right now, guys, we can't diagnose that heat pump outside because it's not hooked up at the thermostat. There's really nothing we can do. We can push the contactor in, but that's not how the unit is designed to work. So I gave the customer the price for putting in the T6 thermostat, which is a two heat thermostat. And she said that she's going to call that last company that came out, since it was a little under a year ago, and she's going to get them to, like I said, replace that thermostat, because she actually found the invoice. He said that it was a 2-year warranty on that thermostat. So guys, the best thing we can do is just give her a quote for hooking this up the way it should, and then we can further diagnose the outside unit. But as of right now, the temperature coming out the vents is like under 90. It's like high 80s. I told her the electric heat and the heat pump is meant to work in tandem. Right now, her energy bill is going to be real high because only the backup heat, which is the electric heat, is running. But at this point, she's going to have to rectify things with the other company in regards to what they put in not being compatible with the current setup here with the system. And hopefully, like I said, they can put in a two-stage thermostat, which at this point I don't think they're going to do. I think we might have to come back out here within the next couple of days to put that new thermostat in and actually diagnose this. But I'm assuming based on what the other company tried to diagnose, maybe it was a refrigerant leak. But I mean, I can throw my gauges on outside, but guys, without power, I can't correctly diagnose, like I said, that system. I don't know if there's an electric issue going on outside, but without, like I said, 24 volts and without a call for the heat pump to turn on, there's really nothing I can do in regards to diagnosing the electric out there. But yeah, guys, and the customer said that she's going to order more 20 by 20 by 1 filters, so she's going to get that done. But this customer wants to wait with the maintenance until, like I said, she gets the other company out here to put a 2-stage thermostat in. But yeah, guys, I mean, electric heat is cool. This electric heat can work independently, but the customer is already noticing that energy bills are getting higher than normal, and that's strictly due to the fact that the heat pump outside is not hooked up from the thermostat. So running the electric heat alone, long term, is only going to get expensive for the customer. And like I said, the fact that someone came out here less than a year ago to try to fix this, and the customer said the temperature did go up, but the bills got real high, so like it got very uncomfortable real quick with running the heat. At this point, all signs lead to, you know, them putting in a 2-stage thermostat. But we can do it if the customer decides not to go through them. So, but yeah, guys, just another saga. Let the story continue. If we come back here, I'll be sure to make a part 2 here. But here you guys have it. No heat. Found bad batteries in the thermostat. We went down here, and then we found that this is not a conventional 1-heat setup. This is an air handler heat pump. Once we looked at the system, we went back to the thermostat. We found the thermostat not being compatible with the system. And now, since the previous company came out here less than a year ago, this customer is going to get the original company to come back out here to hopefully get this customer squared away. If not, then we had no problem doing it. But I would hate to charge this customer something that should have been done right the first time. But alright, guys, I gotta roll. Let me take a picture of the model and serial number of this air handler, and I gotta head out. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.